And hey, buddy, how we doing?
Hey, buddy. Good, man. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good.
Good.
The
Waiting for the storm.
Absolutely. It was cold down here today, man. It was cold.
Yeah.
There are days where on a Saturday, I'm like, man, I wish the theme parks were open down here, and then not today. Not
Yeah, I was going to
today.
ask you if you'd ride Fury today. If you could, would you ride Fury?
Oh, I would because I'm an idiot, right? I make I make terrible life decisions. That is so. If it was open, I would, but I
Nice.
certainly would not need it to be open today. We just went out. We went out to the stores for a couple of times, and it was just man, it was brutally cold out there. So,
Yeah.
how's it up in Virginia?
Super cold. I opened the
Yeah,
store. It was 9:45 this morning when I got to the mall. It was like a ghost town because everybody's kind of just, hunkering down at this point, going to a grocery store, otherwise getting home and preparing,
yeah, yeah. It's supposed to. The bad weather's supposed to kick in here in a couple hours. We'll see what it does, but all right, we've got a few people that have jumped in. Good evening,
Nice.
everybody.
Coaster
We,
therapy.
yes,
Hello.
hello, Coaster Therapy. We are very excited to have everyone here. Very excited for another evening of our off-season therapy, and that is talking about what we love when we can't do it. And we're glad you're all here to
Yep.
join with us. So let
Super
me,
fun.
yeah. Absolutely. And we have in a little bit a special guest to join us. He'll be on in a little bit, but until
Okay.
then, let's go ahead and get started.
Okay. Let's start off with the rumor mill. A lot of stuff
Try.
going on right now. And it's some of this stuff is rumors and some of it is actually like the new Fast and the Furious ride is factual, you know. What do you think of that?
Yeah. What do I think of Fast and Furious in Orlando? Is that the question?
The
Uh,
new the replacement for Rip Ride.
yeah. I, the ride looks. I mean, I think it'll be a great ride. I think the ride by itself is fine. What I don't like is the continuous copying of attractions between the West and the East Coast that Universal and Disney seem to do on the regular now. I think it is way too. Um, I think in today's age, so many of us travel between the parks and get out there. It's not like it was back in the day where you would only do your park. Not saying that some people will only do California and some people will only do Orlando, but too many of us move between the coasts now and attend all of the parks. And I just don't like that we have the same attraction popping up in both sides. But the attraction itself looks. I think it's going to be great, right? I think it's going to be a great ride. It is way better fitting than the monstrosity of a attraction that we have in Orlando now for Fast and the Furious. I I love the Fast and the Furious franchise, and that ride is just a joke. I think I think this, yeah. I I think this will be a better fit for the franchise in the park, and I'm also excited. They announced that the old attraction would go away, right? The old Fast and the Furious would go away in 2027. Be interested to see what they do with that space. Hopefully, it's just not the same thing with a different overlay.
Mm. Yeah, they did make an announcement too, Universal did, about Pokemon is going to the Japanese park. So
Mm.
Kyoto, I believe, right? I think that Universal Japan is in Kyoto, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong, somebody in the channel right now, but I think that's where it is. I think that a lot of people are speculating that it could come to either Epic or, Islands of Adventure. What do you think of
Yeah.
that?
I mean, it sure doesn't really get me either way. The
Okay.
I the the franchise doesn't really speak to me, but it could be really big for the park for sure. Um, you know, I think Epic, and I think you and I have talked about this a little bit. Epic needs more for sure. It's an amazing park that started off with a bang, but it needs more. And I think whatever they put in there, um, it really could be beneficial. We got a question down here. What's going to happen with River Adventure?
That's a good rumor mill thing. That's a good rumor
Yeah,
mill.
I'm not up to speed on that. So share
Okay.
anything you know. Do you know anything, or have you heard
I
anything on
I
that?
know rumor mill. I mean, the rumor mill is that they're going to do some repairs on the animatronics.
Yeah,
And they also, there's been some talk about it's not going to go away, but it needs an update. So they're going to try to do a couple of things. I wouldn't be too surprised if we see some screens.
yeah,
There are some spaces inside when you go inside River Adventure. When you're going up that kind of lift hill, I feel like there's some spaces to do a little bit more set dressing and maybe some screens. Like when you go to have you been to the LA version, the Hollywood version of
no,
Jurassic World?
never
Okay.
been to Universal Hollywood, so no experience for me out there.
Okay.
Oh,
Well, it's going to be
we
good
got
to
a
go
bit.
once they've.
Sorry there, right guy. We have a bit of a celebrity in the chat. We got Fury Man in the chat. Hey, Fury Man. So, um, I like I love the river adventure. Um, I think it would be I think any upgrade to it would be beneficial for as long as it's been down there, right? So
Yeah.
I'm open to it, but I think it's an incredible attraction and well done, and I don't think it needs to be significantly.
I
Um,
don't think they'll replace the T-Rex either, Esoteric Noodle. No, I think maybe they'll do a little bit of updating, maybe some paint. I don't,
yeah,
all these animatronics, they've got to get touched up. And if the ride's not down for an extended period of time, it's very difficult to just to do any scenic work with it. So
what's up,
I
Logan?
think that's what we're going to see.
Yeah, what's up, Logan? We have some rumor mill here in the Carolinas, in my home park of Carowinds. We had a teaser of sorts put out by the park this week about a 2027 attraction. It was just a picture of a very large box, um, and it said, coming for 2027, new for 2027. It asked what was in the woods. So this one is definitely a little bit of a question mark because they didn't release any more details than that, except for we did have a 2026 announcement, not fully in details, but Six Flags did announce we were getting a record breaking water ride for 2026, and that got pushed. We know it's not coming for 2026. They didn't release any other details for that. The only thing we know is probably where it's going because a lot of construction was done. Um, a lot of construction was done. The In that old area where the rapids used to be. So we completely gutted out the old rapids ride, took down all the trees. We know there's a big attraction going in there, but will it be this water ride? We also had a very large coaster leave us last year in Nighthawk in that big open space in the middle of the park as well. So um, I think it's the water ride. I think they already had that finalized and ready to go. Um, they just pushed it because of the Six Flags financial issues, and they held off any expenses that they could until next year. So
What's going to make it record breaking? What do you think that
I,
could be?
height, height, I believe it's a very new. The idea of it. again, they didn't release any details, but it was kind of like a new school kind of flume. Two big hills. Um, Thinking the record breaking piece would definitely be the height of it. There were some renderings out there that people put. Who knows if there was any truth behind them or not? But it was definitely the height that appeared to be record breaking. Either way, I don't. I would love a flume ride, right? Like I love long flumes in parks.
Me too. Me too. I'm a fan. I actually have an idea for Dollywood with a flume ride. I think they should do take the flume ride there and repurpose it around her life. I think it'd be so
Yeah.
cool if you like went through the family cabin, you just went on this journey with Dolly's life through the log flume. So dark ride log flume, kind of like Disney's Tiana.
So a question. Yeah, I would love that. I would absolutely love that. I think the log flume plays in so well with a dark ride. Um, so well with a dark ride, and you can tell a great story, and then have your thrill as well. So I would absolutely love
Hmm.
that. We had a couple other things. Coaster therapy. I miss Nighthawk. I do not miss Nighthawk. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for anyone that does. Nighthawk was not a ride that I rode. It was um, the old flyers were too painful for me. I did not enjoy them at all. I rode it maybe once in the last 5 years that ride was in my park, and I'm at that park all the time. But a lot of people did, so I totally respect anyone that did, and yeah, coaster therapy. You're right, definitely not for everyone. It wasn't for me, but I'll tell you, I probably filmed that ride more than any other ride in the park. It was really, from a social media standpoint, like it was fun to video and record. I loved sitting there under the track and taking videos, but I didn't care for riding it.
More rumor mill. The Disneyland villains
Yeah,
land. I mean, Disney World Villains Land, excuse me. They're still making some pretty heavy progress on that. Disney has not announced an opening date for the land yet, but we do know that it's supposed to have a villain vibe. That's what they came out
yeah.
recently and said. So it's supposed to make you feel as if you are in a villain world. Do you think that could be a little dark universe influence, maybe?
Probably not. Not the way Disney does their villains. They definitely familyize their villains, especially when it comes to, you know, they did like these movies in the last few years where they took the villain, they almost made the villain the good guy, right? In like Maleficent
Mm,
and some of the other movies.
mm-hmm.
But I love it. I love it. I loved, we for years we had that rumor of a fifth gate that would be villains.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
I think that would
Amazing.
have been I think that would have been incredible if California ever gets that third gate. I think villains should absolutely be what they do. I think there's so many fun things you can do, and I don't. Maybe Dark Universe is a decent starting point for what you could do, um, but I love the idea of Disney messing around with the villains and creating a land and eventually, hopefully, even a park.
Yeah. I mean, a park would be amazing, but a land, at least you're going to get a coaster and a castle. So I think
Yeah,
that's pretty good.
there's
So
I
it's
mean,
it'd be a
it's why the Halloween events basically exist today is because of the villains, right? And the Halloween events are like
yeah.
the most popular events that they have all year round. It definitely could make a huge difference in a land, and I would love to see what they could
Hmm.
do there.
Yeah. Especially with that whole the what is the it's called like Piston Peak is the new Cars track, the
Yeah,
rally track that they're building, where Tom Sawyer's Island, the whole River of America redo kind of. So that's exciting. There's a couple of exciting things happening in the world. Obviously, we are less than a week away from Dinosaur closing, pretty much. So,
Yeah, that's I actually was wearing my dinosaur shirt yesterday. I will miss dinosaur, but
yeah,
man, Indiana Jones out in Disneyland is one hell of a ride. One hell of a
it's very
ride.
fun, man.
Hey,
Yeah.
I
Love
see a buddy,
Dinosaur, though.
see my buddy Chris in the chat. Hey, Chris, good to see you, buddy. Um, the I know dinosaur's fun. It's a good ride, and it was really good for that park. For for as long as it was. I love though. I mean, riding Dinosaur and Indiana Jones, which were obviously like the same track, same layout, but different. I mean, totally different experience. And while I like Dinosaur quite a bit, Indiana Jones is way more interesting. Um,
Oh, yeah.
and speaking of that, my buddy Andrew from Coaster 101 just joined in. And I told you
Nice.
at the beginning we were going to have a guest, and I'm going to try to bring him in now.
Very cool.
All right, let's
Nope.
see. Andrew, you there, buddy?
I'm here, I think. Am I here?
Yeah, can hear
I
you.
think you're here.
Can't,
Sweet. Says you'll
the
connect using audio only. I
do
can
not.
see.
There
There we
you
go.
are.
Here I am.
Hey, buddy.
There we go.
All right. Uh, Andrew, thanks so much for joining.
For sure. Happy
The
to do it.
This is my buddy RyeGuy here. We started this last week. He's in Virginia. We met at Dollywood earlier this year, and we just wanted to kill some time over the long winter season where we can't be at the parks. So we figured we'd just jump on here and chat. And
I,
glad to have you with us.
I love it. Yeah, I remember like, especially during COVID, like I did this on Instagram. We'd kind of pop on with random people in the theme park space. We would do that for a while. And that became the Coaster 101 podcast after a hot second. So,
Yeah.
it's cool what you guys are doing. And Ryan, however we
Yeah,
wanted,
Ryan.
whatever we.
Ryan's cool.
All right, Ryan, are you getting like? Have you got any winter weather yet? I know, like,
Yeah. No,
yeah, it's,
not yet.
they say it's coming allegedly.
Yeah, allegedly.
Yeah. Well, we got a few more hours down here, but I think it's coming. I think Ryan will get hit more than us, but we're definitely going to get some ice. That's for
Yeah,
sure.
not the
I was telling
Yeah.
I was telling Ryan early at the beginning of the show that normally on the weekends I miss Carowinds being open, but not today. Not today.
no. Did you see the video? I think they're staging all the Duke Energy trucks in the Carowinds parking lot right now.
I did. There was like 200, 300 trucks sitting in the parking lot just
That's
waiting
crazy.
to get out there. So
It'll happen eventually, maybe not. Hope so. Or
so
I hope not, but it seems like they're
It's
prepared, which is
tough.
good.
the
Looks like it just hit 30 minutes ago in Roanoke.
yeah, Chris said it just
Cowboy
hit his
Castle area.
area. Yeah. So well, hope everyone survives the weather and stays inside. And big thing down here with the ice is keeping our power. I need power for the football games tomorrow. So
Exactly.
fingers crossed. All right, I think we were just wrapping up our first topic. So what was Ryan?
Yeah.
What was our second topic?
The second topic is actually the off season. So this is perfect. We
Oh,
kind of just went into it naturally. So most people's local parks, my local park, Busch Gardens, actually does open in like a week, but it's on a limited basis. But King's Dominion, my other local park, is definitely closed like Carowinds until what, March, mid-March, somewhere around there.
mid. Yeah,
You
March
know.
14th is the official opening date.
So what can one person do during the off season besides tune in and watch us on the weekend sunrise 7:30.
You're a natural at plugging, right? You're natural. Um, so I'll start here. First of all, I love just talking about coasters. So I think this is a good kind of filler, and I love that we're doing. Earlier this year, I joined Andrew and his podcast. We talked about Halloween and scare winds mostly, but like it. I think even when I'm in the parks, a lot of times I'm in the parks just talking about the parks anyway. It's I obviously we're riding, but I enjoy. I mean, how many rides we've been to the park now? What together 3 or 4 times, right? Right? And how many rides have we actually rode together? Only a couple.
So,
Um,
just a couple. Yeah.
most of it was walking around and talking about stuff. So this is um, a great fill. I have found a number of other things that I do kind of try to do, and I have planned out between now and March. Last week we talked about I went to a local park that had 100-year-old carousel. Um, I have another one with a train as well up in Burlington, North Carolina. I'm going to hit in the off season. I have a mountain coaster lined up as soon as the weather is not so brutal. I got one more mountain coaster here in the Carolinas I'll be hitting. And then just a couple other things like we have an indoor, it's called Monster Mini Golf. I have it lined up to go out to Monster Mini Golf and do some filming out there. Anything for me, like I think we talked a little bit about this last week. Like for me, theming and the thematic pieces of parks is what I fell in love with. So if there's something that has that somewhere else that I can get it, might not be exactly the same, but that's what I try to do in the off season.
I listen to podcasts. I mean, I also produce a podcast. You talk about the shameless plug.
Yeah.
Uh, the Coaster 101 podcast that Mr. Coasters, Haunts, and Dark Rides just plugged. We're on a little bit of a scheduling hiatus right now because we're trying to get some exciting guests as we kind of ramp up to the 2026 season. But it is, that's how I kind of bide my time a little bit. And then obviously writing for Coaster 101, I also I do a lot of that. There's still news that comes out every once in a while, so I try to stay on top of the theme park news. And then it's planning that next trip. We were talking today about some of us on the Coaster 101 team going down to Epic Universe at the end of February. TBD if that actually happens, but it's one of those things that's like, okay, this we'll start planning the next thing. And then, another big part of my off season has been again taunting Mr. Dark Rides over there to take his wife to see the Highland cows. Still hasn't done it, but
It's gonna happen. It's
I
gonna
know it is.
happen.
Again, they tell me happy wife, happy life.
Yes, you're right. Absolutely. It's on our list. Unfortunately, again, talking about the weather, it's an outdoor event, so it's got to be warm enough that Mrs. Dark Rides wants to spend some time outside.
Totally
So
get it.
we've been trying to line that up, and this weekend definitely was not it.
No.
The Lee, my daughter just popped in and said would also like to see the Highland cows, and now that's going to require some scheduling because Lee is normally away at school, so I'll have to figure that out. I saw in the comments Orion King said home park Kings Island, of course Orion, that makes sense, but going to Tampa. So yeah, surely getting to Florida is one of the things we can do where the parks don't close. I will be making a quick trip, right? I know you're going to be down there, right? You're going down in February.
Yeah. Very soon. Yeah. For my birthday, right around there. I'll be going to Epic again. I'll be doing an after hours party at Disney. I'm going to cover that for Disney, and I'm going to cover Festival of the Arts for Disney. So, and there's a hotel called the Conrad. So I'm going to do this is the first time I've ever done it. I'm going to do 24 hours locked in at a hotel. So see how that
Hmm.
goes. It's going to be raining. So there we go. I'll rip my hair out.
Yeah. Well, I
24
will
hours,
also.
24 hours locked in feels like what we're doing right now.
Yeah, yeah, no, definitely. It does feel like
Hello,
winter, yeah. Where are you at, Andy? Where are
hello.
you from?
I'm just north of Charlotte. I think where
Okay, cool.
where Mike is south of the city or south of Carowinds by 20, 30, 40 minutes. I'm about the same distance north of the city.
Yeah.
So
The I I also will be making a very short trip to Florida, as I shared with Ryan, and I'll share with this group. I lost a bet to my nephew
Ooh.
after years and years and years of beating him in our annual football pool. I lost this year, and our bets are not financial; they are punishment of the mental state. And we've done some fun ones over the years, and this one is really brutal on me. I have to go to Magic Kingdom for the day, from park open, rope drop until close, and I can only ride It's a Small World all day long. No,
man,
no, no, no other attractions. I can take a bathroom break, and I can take a break to get food, but I need to eat it in line. So
it won't even let you go to what is it, Pinocchio's Village House and stare down at the people while you eat your flatbread pizza.
unfortunately, I'm pretty sure that was my condition that I added. Um, so I was telling Ryan the other day, like I beat my nephew like every year since we started doing this. Like, so it was really thinking, and he's local, so it's a lot easier for him to get over and do this. But he beat me fair and square, so I got to pay off. So it'll
Oh,
be 12 to 13 hours of It's a Small World,
it was
and I'll be bringing it all on my TikTok page. So,
It gives me anxiety.
a buddy of
oh,
mine
I'm
who used to work for Give Kids the World. He does like a birthday fundraiser every year. He did the same thing. Like he had people fundraise, and he was like, for every $100 I raise, I'll do 10 minutes on It's a Small World or something like that. And he was on that ride quite literally all day.
yeah. Wow. I'm not fundraising, unfortunately. I'm just paying the piper for my bad bet. So,
It's the
but
opposite of fundraising.
it's yeah. So I will have one other day. I think we're gonna do a long weekend. So I'll have one other day in Florida. So hopefully I'll get to ride some stuff in the other day. But uh the one day will be quite hellish.
Yeah,
Ryan,
no, definitely.
what else do you do? I mean, like, um anything in your area that kind of fulfills that need to be in a park or an attraction? Anything else
Well,
up in the Virginia area you can do?
so the my record store that I have is located in a mall. We do have
Hmm.
like it's a pretty like 70 or 80-year old carousel in the mall. So I have
Nice.
ridden that a couple of times. So that's I guess. But besides, I'm usually kind of crazy, so I go to Florida. But I am
Yeah.
doing something in February a little different. I'm leaning into the cold weather, and I'm going to Pigeon Forge. So I'm gonna do a segment for Fox 5 about top 5 things to do in Pigeon Forge in the off season. So we're gonna do the Pirates dinner show. We're gonna do
Okay.
the Dollywood Stampede. We're gonna do the Titanic Museum. We're gonna do it's like the Chicken Frizz Cafe, and then we're gonna stay at Heart Song. So I'm going to kind of do not a full 24-hour lock in, but lock in a little bit at Heart Song too.
I I don't know. Maybe it cut out. I did not hear Jurassic Boat Ride in that
I
list.
didn't either.
I, I I didn't hear
Have
that
you? How
in
many times
your
have you done that?
itinerary.
Have you? How many? You've done
Once,
it once.
once,
I've
All right.
never
What
once.
done
about
it.
Earthquake?
Never earthquake. Um,
Yeah.
no, never earthquake. I would do it though. I love terrible attractions. I I love them. The I actually didn't mind Jurassic Boat Ride, to be honest with you. I
Really?
I mean, by the time I wrote it, I had heard all of the stories. I had heard, yeah, I probably had seen enough of it. So I went in with my expectations very much in check. I think if you were just visiting this incredible city called Pigeon Forge, which is incredible if you've never been there, right? It is just the amount of stuff. I remember the first time I went, my son, who's now 22, he just hit 48 inches. So, what is he, 6 at this point? 5, 6. He just hit it, and I didn't know anything in Pigeon Forge except for Dollywood. And I remember driving into Pigeon Forge, and this was still a number of years ago, so not as much as they have today. And my jaw hit the floor when we started driving down the parkway and saw everything that Pigeon Forge has to offer. Like, it
Yeah.
is insane. It's
Hmm.
absolutely insane. And so like I I love it there. But yeah, Jurassic Park ride is definitely, in my opinion, it's a must do for anybody that goes this, just to experience it. But if you thought it was in line with some of the other attractions, I definitely think you would be disappointed if you hadn't experienced that.
Yeah, no, I've seen the
So,
videos.
so when's the February trip?
That's going to be in later February, towards the end of the month after Valentine's. We're going in the
Hmm.
middle of the week. I'm going to stay 2 nights at Heart Song. So
Nice.
we've stayed there a number of times now. It's a very nice
Yeah.
hotel. Best thing about it though is cinnamon bread in the lobby.
Oh, nice. And so that they'll have that while you're there. So that'd be the only way to get it,
Yeah.
right? Oh man.
Yes, that's that or Dream More. It's the only way you can get it in the off season.
Yeah. Well,
So,
I do have a February activity as well. I just thought about, coasters, haunts, and dark rides. I love haunts. We have a haunt in this area, a really good one. Woods of Terror is opening up for Valentine Day. So the
wow.
weekend of, yeah, they're doing a Valentine's of Terror. They're theming it. It's not
That's
the entire.
awesome.
It's a massive haunt. And Ryan, next Halloween, you're coming down and experiencing this with me
Yeah.
because you will love this place. It's themed incredibly, um,
Oh
and
yeah.
they are doing a Valentine's Day event, and I'll be there Friday the 13th to experience everything. I couldn't be more excited. Like, a haunt in February is absolutely coaster therapy. Valentine's Day is scary on its own. Well, throw in a bunch of bloodthirsty vampires, and then you really have some fun. So
On Friday the 13th, no less. You're killing it right now.
yeah, it's
That's
perfect. It's
awesome.
perfect. So I love those off-season things. Just kind of throw in a little bit of a little bit of different flavor. You go to Woods of Terror, you've been there all Halloween. Now you're going to do it with a little bit different, and it definitely fulfills it quenches that thirst a little bit to get back out to a haunt.
Oh yeah.
It will stink only being open for one weekend because once I get in, it'll be like, oh, I want to go back. But it's nice that it's open for sure, definitely, and it's an incredible one. We've got some really good haunts here in the Carolinas, and that's one of them for sure.
Well, let's talk for a second about. I wanted to talk about strategy.
Yeah,
Everybody has strategies that they do for visiting parks. Some people they watch videos, some people read blogs, some people listen to podcasts like Coaster 101. So I
ding, ding,
think
ding,
that
ding.
Jackson Mail.
I think that everybody's got strategies, and what I'd really like you guys to do is talk for a second because I know both you guys go to parks frequently, and you probably both have your own strategy for if you really want to turn it into a ride day. If you've got friends coming, you got guests coming, and
Yeah,
they have a short period of time, how do you maximize your time in the park?
yeah. Um, so I think it's a completely different conversation, from my home park to every other park I go to. So my home park, it's going to be totally different because if I go to Carowinds, and I go to Carowinds a lot, um, that is, that could be a half an hour trip, that could be an hour trip, that could be an all day trip. I've been to the park numerous days where I don't ride a thing because I'm just there hanging out with other people, doing, other stuff. So like I'm not including that in this conversation at all. So I'll say if I'm going to a park that I don't get to, not necessarily the first time, but maybe a park I don't get to very frequently. Um, I am a well before rope drop person. Oh yeah, Spooky Woods. Um, that's I just talked about in the comments. Spooky Woods hoodie. Hell yeah. I was just talking about the incredible haunts here in the Carolinas. This is one of my favorite haunts, Kersey Valley Spooky Woods. It is absolutely incredible. I'm going to be doing a ton from there this year, and I can't wait. So we just have some incredible haunts, and I'm lucky to be affiliated with a number of them. But back to the in the park. Um, if I'm going to a park that I don't get to very often, I am there well before the park opens. I'm going to be in the parking lot the
How
moment I can get in the park.
okay. Okay.
So I'm researching.
Yep.
Like my family, so there's two things. If we're going somewhere and the family's going with me, they know two things. They know they don't have to do anything because I'm researching the heck out of it. And then two, they know I'm going to go insane with my research and what we do. I'm going to know everything I need to know before I get there, right? I'm going to know when they open that parking lot because when they open that parking lot, I'm in. And as soon as I can get in the gates, I'm in the gates. I believe anytime you go to a park, if it's not a park you've been to quite a bit, you need to be in the gate immediately. The damage you can do in a park that first hour cannot be replicated any other time, right? Like you can knock out, and especially if you know some kind of strategy, if everyone goes to one ride, if you can't be the first couple people on that ride, then you go knock out a bunch of other stuff. Um, and then the age. I think you put in the comments about rope drop or park close, and the answer to that is yes, right? Like it's both. Um, I am there all day long. They are kicking me out at the end of the day.
Hmm.
If I'm at Kings Island or Cedar Point or somewhere that I just isn't close enough for me to be at all the time. Even Kings Dominion. I get to Kings Dominion now the last 2 years. I get there once a year. If I know I have one day, it's going to be every single minute of that day. Um, and then on top of that, it's I belong to American Coaster Enthusiasts. We have events. So when we have events, I can get in the park early, stay late. So I take advantage of that. Some parks have their own running of the bulls at Cedar Point. They have different parks have events. So I try to take advantage of that because that can be really beneficial when you go as part of an event and get in several hours before it even opens to the public. And then if it's a park I'm not to all the time, I'm buying a fast lane or whatever their skip the line pass is because I need to experience everything I can as many times as I can.
Yeah, I think I'm kind of the same way, especially for parks that I don't get to often or I've never been to. Never been to, I'm absolutely going again. Rope drop, pre-rope drop to as long as I can go, and it's go go go. Like my younger brother, kind of the same thing as what Mike said. It's like he loves going to Disney with me because I know where we're going and what we're doing. He hates going to Disney with me because if we're down there, it's going to be like 2 or 3 days, and every waking moment is going to be spent in a park. And it's like we'll get there at the last time we went, it was a couple years ago. Went down to Universal actually. We stayed on property. We did this is pre-epic. We stayed on property. We did the park all day on Friday. Then we did the Orlando Informer meetup Friday night. Then we did the parks all day Saturday and the Orlando Informer meetup Saturday night. And then before we traveled home, we did SeaWorld the next day. So he's just like I'm not like running through the parks, but especially like Universal, Disney, SeaWorld, places like Carowinds, Busch Gardens, Kings Dominion that I get to a pretty regular amount. I'm a little bit more low key about it, but I'm still going to cram, especially in Orlando. I'm cramming every minute I can because it's not
Yeah.
as frequently there. But it is. There's a little bit of research involved, and a lot depends on. Recently I was in New Jersey for work, and I had a half day before I had to kind of be on site at work, and so I flew into Philadelphia. I drove up to the Funplex amusement park because that's another thing I'll do is I'll plot out the coasters that I'm missing because they had a
Yeah.
coaster there. So I went to the Funplex for all of about 45 minutes so I could ride their little SBF Wild Mouse coaster. Then I went to Great Adventure, rode the coasters I had not ridden there, and was out of there by like 7 o'clock so I could get to my hotel, get dinner, and be up for work the next morning. So it is. It's to me, it's all about cramming as much time as you can, and the I've got a lot of places I still need to get to. Epic Universe is one. Parks like Hershey Park, Silver Dollar City, Six Flags Magic Mountain, all of the or Fiesta Texas. It's been years since I've been to Over Texas, but like there are
Yeah.
parts that are like embarrassing to me that I haven't been to yet. So it's like I just need to, and if I'm going to one of those parks, there's going to be a almost military precision level plan of how I'm going to attack the day.
Yeah, let me interrupt you for 1 second. First, Twigsaw joined us in the comments. We were talking about haunts. Lake Hickory Haunts is the other amazing park in my area, which I'm affiliated with. And Twigsaw is one of the best characters you'll ever meet at any haunt. So putting that out there. So thanks so much for jumping in. And also just a big thanks to Ruthless Raj Rides for sending some gifts. Thank you very much. Hey, big, let's just plug the three of us real quick. If you don't follow any one of us, Coasters Haunts Dark Rides, Coaster 101, RyeGuy, please follow. Great content coming out from all of us. And for now, we're trying to make and I are trying to make this a kind of regular off-season thing. So we'll put it out there. I did it this week. I'll put it out there again. I'll put a reminder out for everyone. But for now, we're gonna try to do this as many weekends as we can between now and when we're too busy to do this when we're back in the park. So please follow along, and thank you all so much for joining. Absolutely glad that you're here.
And I'm glad that these
So
guys just let me third wheel as we're waiting on this ice storm tonight.
yeah, well, no,
Yeah,
we're glad to have you. We got a Coaster
absolutely.
101 is a theme park legend. We have you come in. It's
Nice.
absolutely all right, Ryan. What do you do, buddy?
Yeah. So, when you were talking about getting to the gate early, I'm that dude that shows up so early at the Disney gate at Epcot that they turn me around, and I have to do
Hmm.
that 2 or 3 times. And Stephanie's next to me, and she's so cool that she doesn't cringe out on me. She's okay. We keep laughing a couple of times because we want to be the first row once you get into Epcot. If you want to ride Cosmic, Rewind, you want to ride that first because it's a momentum chase. It's the same with HHN. Like, I go old school. I have a piece of paper that I carry, and when I hit HHN, I have strategy, 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 because I'm going to go ahead and you got to get a fast pass for HHN. You have to. But the best thing
Yeah.
to do is you got to hit everything twice. You got to hit it once
Yep.
in the express, and then you got to hit it again,
I,
non-express. So there has to
I
be a strategy for how you hit your houses.
I don't think Twig had dropped off. I don't think he heard me. So let me just say one more time. Twig, if you didn't hear this, I introduced you to the group and said you were one of the best characters in any of the haunts here in the Carolinas. So just wanted to say a big shout out to you, buddy. So back to you, right?
What's up,
Sorry.
Twig? Yeah, that's all good. So, just having an it sounds like everybody's kind of the same. You're coming up with an organization for your plan. You're going to have a momentum. So you're going to hit one ride. So if you're going to Animal Kingdom and you want to start off with the Avatar, the Avatar, the was it Flight of Passage, You're going to hit that. And then everything else after that, if you're in that first wave, it's going to be walk on because everybody is going to be in line at Flight of
Yeah.
Passage. And you have this opportunity. You can go to, personally, I go Flight of Passage all the way to Safari. I think that's the way to do it because those two rides are going to be all your time, and then
Yeah.
stop by Yak and Yeti, get some noodles. That's all I'm
Mm.
saying. Noodles at Yak and Yeti. Pretty
Plus, the key
good.
with the
Pretty good.
safari is all of the animals are active first thing in the morning.
Absolutely. We saw giraffes running last time. I've never seen that. I mean, it's incredible. So,
Yeah.
be there early and plan to stay there late. Another thing I recommend to people all the time is if you're driving, it's okay to go to your car to take a break and have another pair of shoes. Because if you're going to really do 30,000 steps in a day, you might want to have a second pair of shoes to change into. Okay, especially if you're going to
Especially,
marathon this.
and especially in Florida, where at any point it can rain, and if you got wet shoes late in the day, you're toast. So I
Yeah.
agree,
Yeah, and you don't need
agree, and
blisters. You
I,
don't need blisters, but I stay on property because if you're at Universal, if you're at Disney, you're going to get access early. If you
yeah,
have to stay at a budget property, it's still worth it because before Hagrid's went on to Express, dude, the only way you're going to ride Hagrid's with a less than a 2 hour wait is if you rope drop it and you're in the first wave.
Mhm.
You can only do that if you have early access.
yeah.
So otherwise, you're going to be playing catch up all day.
Which it goes back to what we were talking about earlier. I mean, I love rides. I obviously love rides, right? But I love being in the park. And while I do, especially at Disney and Universal, the queue lines can be very well themed. But I would rather get my rides in on those really long line rides so I can spend more time just in the park. You know,
Yeah.
I love shows. I love going to theme park shows, right? And I want to be able to do that in the afternoon, especially in the summer when it's hot as heck and you need to get out of the sun for a little bit, right? But so knocking that stuff out early so you have time to do everything else and enjoy everything the park has to offer is critical.
Absolutely.
Rufus,
Yep. So all right. So
I also researched past days, weeks, crowd cap, and wait times and queue
yep.
times. Absolutely agree. Like, first, it starts before you even go to the park. Like, knowing what day to
Yeah.
go to the park can be like here in Carolina, if you, for Carowinds, just don't go on Saturday, then you're fine. If you go
Exactly.
on Saturday, you're shot. Like you cannot go to Carowinds on a Saturday. You just cannot. Like if it's your first time or you're coming to the area, like you're toast. But you come on a Thursday or a Friday, you're going to walk on everything and you're going to have an amazing trip. So researching before you go is critical.
First thing on a Sunday too. You got to remember we
Yeah,
are we're still very much in the Bible Belt down here, and there are a lot of people who spend their Sunday morning in church. There are
yeah,
other people who spend their Sunday morning and their version of church is riding Fury a couple times.
yeah,
So
for sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
All
Definitely,
right.
crowd calendars are key. All right. So let's talk for a second. I was kind of thinking for the kind of the last quarter of this, we should all tell a story about something interesting that's happened to us at a park. Okay. So I know we have tons of stories, and each time we do this, just limiting to one. So we're just one good story, and it can be anytime. It can be from when you're a kid, it can be from last week. But one really good story, interesting experience at any theme park.
it's is it got to be a theme park? Because I've got a really good like family entertainment center story.
Yes,
We're
that
gonna
counts
Yep,
for
absolutely.
sure.
We're going to
Yep.
roll with this because I told this story. It was actually on the 101st episode of our podcast for Coaster 101. And it was this, what we called the story we would never tell. But the park is since closed, and I don't think anybody can get in any trouble for it anymore. So, anyway, I'm based in Charlotte. We had a couple of guys from Coaster 101, and we're all around the country. So, there was two guys from Ohio and a buddy of mine from Tennessee. The four of us we came to Carowinds, and it was like the weekend after Scarowinds, so it was back when they were doing the Peanuts Festival. A couple of them had never been, so we spent all day going Carowinds. And because we're coaster enthusiasts and coaster nerds, there used to be a family entertainment center right up the road from Carowinds, a place called Funtastics. Mike, I'm sure you're familiar. You've got to be, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
And so at Funtastics, they had a Minor Mike roller coaster, and with this Minor Mike roller coaster, they had a maximum height requirement on the map um, on the you needed a kid or you could not be a certain height. And one of my buddies from Coaster 101, Kyle, he's shameless, we'll call it that. That's just a good way to put it. He calls Funtastics and he plays the Coaster 101 card. He says, "We write for this website, can we come ride the roller coaster?" Puts a spin on it that only he could put a spin on it. And he gets a hold of this manager. The manager's like, "Absolutely, come on, do what you got to do." Because the only times really that you would typically be allowed to not have to have a kid or be a certain height was, I think, in conjunction with the ACE event, the Carowinds, the Carolina Coaster Classic, things like that. So the four of us show up, and it is like 8:30, 9 o'clock at night. They close at like 10. And there's four grown men walking into this place primarily designed for children. And we go to the check-in, and they're like, "Yeah, they said we could come ride the roller coaster." And the, teenager working the counter gives us a look like, "What are you? Who are you? Why are you here?" And so she gets the manager. The manager goes, "Oh, yeah, that's the roller coaster people. Take them back there." And so this kid, he was probably, if I had to guess, 17 on a good day. He takes us back, and keep in mind, this is like unseasonably cold for early November in the Carolinas. We're talking like high 30s, low 40s, whatever. He kind of gave us this look like, "Who are you? What are you doing?" And so we're walking out there making small talk. And he goes, "So y'all are going to operate it, right?" And we're like, "What? What's happening here?" And, and he goes, and we kind of look at him, and we're like, you serious?" He goes, "Yeah, you guys are the roller coaster people. You're going to operate it, right?" And he goes, I'll come back. I'll come back and get you." So three of us hop in the Minor Mike train, and Kyle, to his credit, he was the one who made this happen. He's sitting on the operating panel, just pushing the button, doing his safety checks and doing all such as they were. So yeah, and then he eventually got to ride himself with one of the other guys operating the coaster for him. But yeah, that was we got to not only ride the coaster we weren't supposed to, we got to operate it that night as well. So that's one of my favorite coaster stories. And
Who 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 bet on the first coaster story being about a minor Mike? Like, like of all the coaster stories, that is awesome. But who would have guessed? That's awesome.
yeah, it's an embarrassing story, but I'm among friends, so I'm going to tell you guys.
No, I don't think it's embarrassing at all. The I got I got two that I'll share. Nothing quite like that one. That one was fun, but I've got two, and one is Disney related, and one is park related or amusement park related. Back to the old conversation from last week, the difference between Disney and Universal, and our local theme park. So my Disney story is just, as a kid, I went to Disney all the time. My dad, my mom, they took me and my brother, every couple of years, and I'm incredibly grateful and thankful for that. And that's what I've tried to replicate with my kids. When I met my wife and got married, my wife had not had the same experience as a childhood. She had gone once as a small child, and it was just a quick visit. She did not have the history with Disney that I did. So when my son was 5 at the time and my daughter was 1, we took them to Disney for the first time. So it was kind of my wife's first real trip. It was a week long trip. We stayed on property. one of the values. And the first night we got there, we had driven down, we went into the park around dinner time. Not 10 minutes after we got in the park, it was a Florida monsoon. It was pouring. So, like as soon as it started, we were covered. We had dinner planned. So of course my daughter's in a stroller, so we leave the stroller outside. By the time we're done, the stroller is full of water. Everything is completely soaked. We didn't ride a ride. We ate dinner.
Mm.
We start walking back to the bus. It is pouring. We get back to under the cover of the bus, and again, we're just soaked from head to toe, miserable. And my wife leans in and she goes, "This doesn't feel very magical, Michael." And I was like, "Oh my God." So the next day, we had my Aunt Bertha, who was turning 100 years old. She lived about an hour from Orlando. We took her, out to lunch and celebrate her birthday. And then we went to the park and we had perfect weather. We got in the park, we rode all rides from noon till dark. At night, we're getting on Dumbo and the fireworks start. And the fireworks are going as we're riding Dumbo, and then we get off and we finish watching Dumbo or finish watching the fireworks. And at that moment, I could see it in my wife's eyes that she got bit by the Disney bug. Like, it was so quick from the day before, and she goes, "Okay, now this is magical." And like after that, I mean, we've been almost every year down to Disney. We go on Disney cruises, completely bit. And that moment, those two moments, didn't feel magical to, okay, I get it now. I can remember those moments like they were yesterday and they were, 17 years ago. The, uh, the second story is amusement park related. Carowinds. Shortly after I moved down here, I've only lived in the Carolinas now for 18 years. Shortly after I moved here and had
Only.
gone to the park, only it's only 18 years. But they had a coaster event at the park. It was a park sponsored coaster event. And it was called Coaster Stock. It was a one and done. They had it 1 year. Um, but my brother, who lives in Pennsylvania now, but at the time he lived in Maryland, he decided to come down. And like any good enthusiast, he couldn't just come down and us just go to Carowinds. Neither of us had been to Six Flags over Georgia. So we decided he was only down for a couple days. So we decided to leave my house on Thursday morning, uh, 4 or 5 hours before the park opened, because it was a 4.5 hour drive. Drive down to Six Flags over Georgia to get there for park open. Stay the entire day because it was our first time. We had to get every coaster credit. And hold on one second. And then um, we drove back 4 hours back after park closed, only to be back at Carowinds when they did their ERT 2 hours before the park opened the next morning. So we were probably on 2 or 3 hours sleep. And the first ride, this was years ago. So this is before Intimidator, Thunderstriker. This is before Fury. This is before Copperhead. I believe ERT was on the Flying Cobras. It had just moved. It had just moved down to our park and had the new restraints. So we're on a boomerang. Friday morning, spent the entire day at another park, barely any sleep. And my brother looks at me and says, "Why do we do this?" And I'm like, because this is fun. I'm like, I'm on a boomerang Friday morning after spending all day in another state, another park. So much better than work. So much better than work. I'll do it any day of the week. So that's it. That's my two stories.
All right, my story is also a Disney rain story. So we were supposed to go to Disneyland Paris for my birthday a couple of years ago, but this is right when they were having a cast strike. So there was a lot of demonstrations going on, and there was a cast strike going on. So we figured, you know what, we'll switch it from Disneyland Paris. We'll go back to Disneyland in California, and that I was born maybe 20 minutes from there in Valencia, California. So as a baby, my parents would take me to the park. So that's always been my kind of home park for Disney. So we go there and it's in February. Now, we did not know that there was going to be a Pineapple Express. Now, I had thought a Pineapple Express was a movie with Seth Rogen.
Good one too.
I had, I, yeah, I thought it was a type of weed or something. I had no idea that it was an actual storm. It's a storm system that comes over from the Pacific. So we found ourselves, this is in February, the Disneyland Hotel Villas, which is a DVC property, had just opened maybe a couple of months prior. So we booked a hotel there, and the room that we're staying in is a 225 square foot studio. It's just a Murphy bed. So it's a couch that turns into a Murphy bed, and then that's it in the room. So it's very small space. And we get out there because we're thinking we won't spend a lot of our time in the room. Why would we do that? We're going to be in the park the whole time. And then we deal with the Pineapple Express. So Disneyland always has traditionally really, really good weather.
Hmm.
They never close the park. It's not like Florida where they have hurricanes coming through. So they don't have that issue. So they hadn't closed the park early in like 10 years, except that night. So we were in Disney California Adventure, and it's almost like in the 60s when you saw the pictures of people at Woodstock. They were just like covered in mud, but imagine that in water. I've never seen people so wet, like completely drenched head to toe, and still made it to the end. I mean, we rope dropped and we closed the park. Now, we came a little bit more prepared. There was a lot of people that we saw taking like the umbrella bags and trying to
Hmm.
fashion those around their shoes. And it's just completely drenched to the bone. But we had an amazing time in the park. And that's always going to be something because I've been to Disneyland many, many times, but I've never been to Disneyland during a complete, utter storm. I mean,
Yeah.
heavy downfall of rain. No real, I mean, we got on the Cars ride because we rope dropped it, but that was pretty much it for the rest of the day. We did ride Incredicoaster in the rain, but pretty much that was it. So yeah, Woodstock 94, yeah, that was, but really, if you have an opportunity to go to a park and it's not the best conditions, it can honestly turn into something like you were talking about with your wife. Like when she turns
Yeah.
to you and says, "This doesn't feel very magical." Dude, that's a memory. Like that's
Yeah.
a
Oh,
hardcore memory. Yeah, so
wow.
even when it's bad, it's good. It's like pizza. Even when it's
Well,
bad, it's good, you know?
yeah, for sure. Well, I mean, for me, that day was just okay. It's a bad day for her. It was her first time, right? Really, first time there, so it stuck. But yeah, I mean, it made that next day so much better, right? Like having that experience, and then that next day. If that was our only day, it could have been totally different. But for sure, I have I have been in the park plenty of times when the weather was terrible. You know, I've been at Cedar Point, in May when the park just opens and it's frigid up there, and it doesn't keep us from doing what we need to do and riding as much as we can. So I'm with you, buddy.
All right, is anybody in the channel, you guys have anything you want to talk about real quick before we start wrapping stuff up? You got anything that you want to just post and just talk real quick about with us? We can kick the conversation around.
Yeah, we had a pretty active group here tonight in the chat. Thank
We
you all
did.
so much for joining us. Yeah,
Yeah.
the and
Yeah,
and
thank you
Hope.
to Ruthless Raj
Oh,
too.
yeah,
Oh,
coaster
coaster therapy.
therapy. No,
Appreciate you.
absolutely, of course. And again, we're gonna try this. We're gonna try Logan. Logan, I wish Scarewinds would hurry up too. I don't know if
Yeah.
you were. I don't know if you were on. I mean, Logan works at Scarewinds, but we were talking about haunts at the beginning and how I'll be attending Woods of Terror for Valentine's Day, just to get that itch. But I'm ready for haunt season two. It'll be here. It'll be here before we know it, but we still got a while.
What
Um,
is TT2?
Top Thrill 2.
Top thrill.
Okay.
Yeah. Logan said they bought us new chainsaws too. He's one of the chainsaw guys back in Harvest Fear. Oh, I miss haunt. I miss haunt.
Yeah, it's going to be probably cold next weekend for Busch Gardens, man. They're maybe even calling for some snow next Saturday again in this area. Hopefully Williamsburg
Yeah.
will kind of miss it. Williamsburg's the best, dude. I'm seriously considering that as like a retirement area because I love Jamestown. So I feel like I would just, to me, Jamestown, the theming of it is incredible. So I'm like Michael, where I'm a theming fan. So that for me, it's if a ride has a really good queue system, that can kind of sway me before I even get on the ride. So I feel
Yeah.
like Jamestown is just amazingly themed. Busch Gardens has really good theming. So I wish that we more local parks would invest into theming. I know it's expensive, but I think it's well worth it.
Well, I Cowboy Casanova coasters. My friend Chris. We've been talking about me getting up to Busch Gardens. I know, right? We've talked about it. I definitely have it on my list. I want to hit it early in the year, but I am going to wait till it's not like snowing. Um, I need some of the rides to be open for sure.
Yeah.
You don't just want to marathon Celtic Fire all day? That's what I'd do.
Uh, I
Oh,
need
the
a couple
Celtic Fires.
rides. I need a couple rides open. Couple rides open. But I also do want to get up there in the spring when the full park is open because it's been since COVID. Yeah, probably the COVID year was the last time I was there when the full park was open. Um, so I definitely want to get up there this year and certainly will.
Were you not there for
All
Spring Con
right.
last year?
No, I didn't go to SpringCon. I had a conflict.
Ah,
And I also always go up to King's Dominion for Haunt. Um, I love Haunt season. I love the event they have there for Haunt. But SpringCon, I had some other conflicts, so no, I did not make it.
gotcha.
Um, yeah, I certainly try. You know, when especially when the events are in our area, I certainly try, but I could not make it. So I'll get there this year. All right. Well, this was awesome. First of all,
Yes.
huge thank you. Andrew literally sent me a message 2 minutes before we went on and said, "Hey, I'm free." And I said, "Oh man, we would love to have you. We would love to have you." So, thank you so much. It's always a pleasure chatting with you. I can't wait to spend the day with you in Carowinds once we get back into the season. Um, and of course, if anyone on here is not familiar with Coaster 101, you guys do an incredible job. Absolutely incredible job at Coaster 101. I love your podcast. I love what you guys do on the website. It is a huge, just a huge blessing to our community, what you guys do. And certainly, if you're not following all the pages, I highly recommend. So there, I did some of it for you there, Andrew.
I appreciate that. That's super helpful. And again, one day we're going to be as TikTok famous as you are. We're not there yet, though. So
Yeah. Well,
I'm
well,
just gonna,
you got the rest. You got the rest of the internet covered. How about
yeah,
that?
we'll try. But right now, I'm gonna hop on your coattails when I can, and maybe make the TikTok averse more aware of who we are and what we do. But I appreciate your willingness to kind of let me barge in while again we just sit here and wait on this winter weather that they say is coming, allegedly.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And then Ryan, obviously, always a pleasure to chat with you, my friend.
Absolutely, brother. It's always so much fun. I'm looking forward to next weekend.
Yeah. Next next weekend. Next time we chat.
Yes, that sounds right.
Okay.
Wow.
And I'm listening.
I
I'm
was like,
looking forward to
okay.
some more Coaster 101 podcasts too.
I
Yeah.
love it.
So hey, next weekend, let's talk some Dollywood and let's talk some Pigeon Forge, especially with that coming up. But we got a massive new attraction coming in at Dollywood that I think we need to spend some time with, and really dig into that bad boy before we
I
before we
wonder if
get
I
into
could
the
get
season.
Wes or somebody. Maybe we could get Wes or somebody from Dollywood to come on and talk to us.
Yeah,
Get Wes, get Pete. Both of them would be better guests than I am. So
Oh no.
no,
No, you were
yeah,
awesome, Andy.
I appreciate that.
yeah. All right. And then to each one of you that have been watching us, many of you stuck around the entire time. Thank you all so much. If you don't follow, please follow along. We'll send out an invite to the next live next time we do it. But there's some great content that'll be posted between now and then. So thank you all so much. Please, please, please be safe. Stay warm, stay inside through the storm. And I hope everyone has a great night. Take care, y'all.
Take your wife to see the cows.
Bye.
You got it, buddy. Not tonight. Not
Okay.
tonight.
Fair enough.
Not
All right.
tonight.
See you guys.
Bye,
All
Coaster
right,
Therapy.
guys.
Bye,
All right,
y'all.
bye.
Bye, y'all.
Bye, everybody.